You've checked all the boxes. The job, the house, the relationship, the salary that makes your parents proud. So why does it feel like you're driving 100 miles an hour? In the wrong direction? If you've ever felt lost despite having everything, you're not broken. You've just discovered one of humanity's strangest logical fallacies. And today, we're tearing it apart. Drop a direct hit in the comments if this is hitting way too close to home right now. Here's what nobody tells you about success. It doesn't come with GPS. We spend our 20s collecting achievements like Pokemon cards, thinking that once we catch them all, we'll finally feel complete. But then something weird happens. You hit the goals. You get the promotion. You buy the car. You post the vacation photos. And you feel nothing. Worse than nothing, actually. You feel guilty for feeling empty. Because how dare you be unhappy when people would kill for your life, right? So you smile at brunch. You say, "I'm blessed" on Instagram. And late at night, you lie awake wondering, is this it? Is this all there is? The answer? You're experiencing what psychologists call the achievement paradox. And it's way more common than your highlight reel makes it seem. And before you click away thinking this doesn't apply to you, stick around. Because what I'm about to show you in minute 3 will make everything make sense. In the next 8 minutes, I'm going to show you the 3 traps that are secretly draining your happiness, even though you're winning at life. And here's the thing. Most people don't realize they're stuck until it's too late. But stick with me, because at minute 6, I'm going to give you a 60-second exercise that a Stanford psychologist used to help people escape this exact trap. It sounds simple, but when I tried it, it completely rewired how I see my own goals. Oh, and that simple test I mentioned? It's actually kind of brutal. Last week, someone told me it made them cry in a Starbucks. But in a good way. The kind of cry where everything suddenly clicks. Ready? Let's go. Number 1, the moving goalpost trap. First up, you're chasing a finish line that keeps moving. Remember when you thought getting into college would fix everything? Then it was landing the job, then hitting 6 figures, then the corner office. Each time you reach the goal, your brain does something fascinating and cruel. It recalibrates. What felt like making it 3 months ago now feels like the baseline. This is called hedonic adaptation, and it's why lottery winners return to their baseline happiness within a year. But here's the real kicker. We're pursuing goals that aren't even OURs. Take Emma, Harvard MBA, consulting job at 26, panic attacks by 27. She told me, "I achieved my parents' dream, my professor's expectations, society's definition of success, but I never asked what I actually wanted." She was climbing a ladder leaned against the wrong building. Quick question. What's one goal you're chasing right now that, if you're being honest, you don't even know if you want it? Comment below. No judgment here. And that's the logical fallacy right there. We assume that external validation equals internal satisfaction. We think that if everyone says this is success, then achieving it must make us happy. Spoiler alert. It doesn't work that way. Because happiness isn't a destination. It's not waiting for you at the end of the achievement checklist. It's a direction. And if you're moving in a direction you never consciously chose, you're going to feel lost no matter how fast you're going. Okay, pause for a second. I need to tell you something. That changed how I see everything. There's this famous study from Bronny where a palliative care nurse, who spent years with dying patients, she asked them about their biggest regrets. You know what the number 1 regret was? I wish I'd had the courage to live a life true to myself. Not the life others expected of me. Not, I wish I'd made more money. Not, I wish I'd worked harder. They wished they'd been brave enough to disappoint people. Let that sink in for a second. Because right now, you might be living someone else's life. And that emptiness you feel, that's your soul's way of saying, this isn't ours. If you've ever felt this way, type, "Not my life," in the comments. I want to see how many of us are waking up to this. Number 2, the meaning deficit. Okay, so, dying people wish they'd lived their own life. Heavy, right? But here's where it gets weird. And honestly, kind of infuriating. We're living in the most comfortable era in human history. Right now, you can order Thai food, watch any movie ever made, and talk to someone on the other side of the planet, all without leaving your couch. Our great-grandparents would think we're gods. So why are we more miserable than they were? I'll tell you why in a second, but first, quick show of hands in the comments. How many of you felt happier when you had less stuff? Drop a up arrow if that's you. Here's the trap. We've optimized for comfort, not meaning. Our ancestors would think we're living in paradise. But here's the paradox. We're more depressed, anxious, and mentally lost than ever before. Why? Because humans don't just need comfort. We need struggle that matters. There's this psychologist, Viktor Frankl. He survived the Holocaust. And while he was in the camps, he noticed something absolutely wild. The people who survived longest, they weren't the strongest. They weren't the healthiest. They were the ones who had something to live for. A reason. A purpose. Even if that reason was just, I need to see my wife again. Or, I have to tell this story. Now here's the part that's going to make you uncomfortable. Those people, in the worst conditions humans have ever created, found more meaning in their suffering than most of us find in our entire comfortable lives. Let me say that again. People in death camps had more purpose than you scrolling TikTok at 2 a.m. in your heated apartment eating DoorDash. And I know that sounds harsh, but if that made you mad, good. Drop a face with steam from nose below. Because that anger, that's your soul telling you something needs to change. That feeling, hold on to it. Because that's the alarm I'm talking about. But what do? We eliminate all struggle. We swipe instead of connecting. We scroll instead of creating. We consume instead of contributing. And then we wonder why life feels hollow. You're not depressed because you're ungrateful. You're unfulfilled because you're unchallenged in ways that matter. Because getting promoted doesn't answer the question. What's this all for? Real talk. That feeling of being lost? It's not a bug. It's your internal alarm system screaming that you need more than security and status. You need significance. And I'm about to show you how to find it. But first, there's one more trap you need to avoid. Number 3, the comparison catastrophe. Okay, confession time. I used to refresh LinkedIn 47 times a day. Yes, I counted. Know what I was doing? Torturing myself. And now, the final trap, we're measuring our insides against everyone else's outsides. Social media has turned life into a constant performance review. And here's the brutal logical error. We compare our behind the scenes with everyone else's highlight reel. You see someone's promotion announcement. You don't see the anxiety attacks in the parking lot. You see the engagement ring. You don't see the therapy sessions. You see the living my best life post. You don't see them crying in the shower, wondering if this is really living. Marcus, a tech exec I know, put it perfectly. I spent years feeling like a failure because I wasn't as happy as everyone looked on LinkedIn. Then I started actually talking to people. Turns out, everyone's faking it. We're all just trying to look like we have it together. The logical fallacy. We think, if I'm unhappy with this life, something must be wrong with me. But what if nothing's wrong with you? What if something's wrong with the script we're all following? What if feeling lost when you have everything isn't a malfunction, but a wake-up call? Real question. Who are you comparing yourself to right now? Drop their initials below. Let's call out this pattern together. The solution. All right, enough pain. Let's talk about what actually works. So how do you find your way when you've realized you're lost? Not by getting more stuff. Not by achieving the next milestone. And definitely not by scrolling through inspiration porn until 2 a.m. Here's what actually works. And I'm not going to sugarcoat this. It's going to feel scary at first. First, you need to figure out whose dreams you're actually chasing. And I've got a way to do this that's uncomfortably accurate. Tonight, before bed, grab your phone. Open your notes app. Write down your top 3 goals right now. The big ones. Career, money, relationship, whatever. Then, and this is the part that stings, ask yourself, would I still want this if I could never tell anyone about it? If there were no Instagram post, no LinkedIn humblebrag, no impressing anyone at Thanksgiving dinner, would I still do it? Try it tonight and comment, midnight test done tomorrow. I want to know what you discover. Because here's the thing. If you feel resistance to that question, if you're thinking, well, of course I'd still want it. But there's a tiny voice saying, would I though? That's your real voice. Listen to it. Second thing, stop optimizing for success and start optimizing for aliveness. I know that sounds woo-woo, But hear me out. Emma quit her six-figure marketing job to teach pottery. Everyone thought she lost her mind. Her parents staged an intervention. Her friends thought she was having a breakdown. But she told me something I'll never forget. I make half the money and feel twice as happy. And you know what the crazy part is? I'm not even good at pottery yet. But I'm alive. I'm learning. I'm curious again. For the first time in a decade, I don't spend Sunday nights with a pit in my stomach. If you've ever felt that Sunday pit, comment Sunday Scaries below. You're not alone. The question isn't, am I successful? It's, do I feel alive? And finally, this one's simple but powerful. Build meaning through what you give, not what you get. Find one way this week to make someone's day genuinely better. Not networking, not transactional. Just make someone smile. Help someone struggling. Create something that didn't exist before. Mike, a lawyer friend of mine, started mentoring at-risk teenagers one night a week. He told me, I make life-changing money doing corporate law. But that one night a week mentoring kids, that's the only time I feel like my life actually means something. Contribution beats consumption. Every single time. Find a way to make someone's day better. Volunteer. Mentor. Create something. Anything that makes you forget to check your phone. Because you're actually engaged with reality. And finally, give yourself permission to not have it figured out. You're not supposed to. The people who look certain are usually just scared to admit they're improvising too. Look, I'm going to be real with you. Feeling lost despite having everything isn't a character flaw. It's a compass recalibration. It means you're waking up to the fact that society's definition of success and your definition of a meaningful life might not be the same thing. And that's okay. Actually, it's beautiful, because now you get to build something real. All right, one last thing before you go. I want you to close your eyes for a second. Actually close them. Now picture yourself at 80 years old, sitting on a porch somewhere, looking back at your life. What does that 80-year-old version of you desperately wish you'd done? What do they wish you'd been brave enough to try? Who do they wish you'd been brave enough to be? That version of you? They're watching right now, and they're begging you to take the first step. So here's what I want you to do. In the comments right now, finish this sentence. My true purpose is... Don't overthink it. Don't make it perfect. Just write the first thing that comes to mind. I read every single one, and I will reply to yours. And hey, if someone you love is stuck in this exact trap, send them this video. Not tomorrow. Right now. Because sometimes people need permission to admit they're lost. This video, it's that permission slip. And if you want to see more videos like this, the kind that actually make you feel something, instead of just killing time, subscribe. Because next week, I'm breaking down why your dream job might be your worst nightmare. You're going to want to see that one. You're not lost, by the way. You never were. You're just finally brave enough to admit you've been going the wrong direction. And that's the first step to finding the right one. That's all for today. I'll be making similar videos in the future. So make sure to subscribe to see them.